style should be something that isn't serious and that doesn't take too much seriousness. And that's why I'm changing it. But my old art style, and to categorize the two, I have called my old art style Style B. So when I use Style B, it'll be for more serious things and serious pieces, which hopefully, if I can get the speed paint done and out soon, will be a recreation of something when I was 14 years old, and I plan to get that issued out. I also plan on redoing another Sally.exe speed paint because I want to make a comeback to that because I still love her. And I do also want to say that I do want to try and pump out more animations because I know when I was 17 I was able to do some animation memes. I've kind of grown out of that phase of doing animation memes because I really don't care much about doing them because they're so limited and most of them are the same content. But I do love some of the memes that are out there because I know some people who get really creative. And I do have a couple of favorite memes that I do love to watch. But it's just not my cup of tea. I can't do that and come up with constant content like that. Those people, they know what they're doing more than I do. I'm not a professional at animation. I'm more of those talentless hacks that just learns by being stubborn. But I do plan on working on more complex animations and more detailed ones. Besides the ones that you guys seen in 2014, I plan on actually getting some new ones pumped out. And the one that was released a year ago of Kaio, I know I can do way better than that. So I'm actually going to be pumping out some newer content like that. And hopefully something more impressive. And with that being said, I do also have to say that I am working on a couple of new comics as well. I'm planning on getting those done, and the character that I'm currently drawing on screen is one of those characters from a new AU. And I really, really love him because he's so massively fluffy. And I know it's probably bonkers, because everyone probably knows I'm the girl who nonstop draws Kaio. And before anything else, Kaio is not a sauna. He's just an OC. I've gotten that plenty of times, like, oh, he's your male sauna, and no, I have a male sauna. I just don't use him. But I do understand why, because I do use him for a lot of things. He's my icon, but he's usually the icon I use for Dark Mirror to promote it. And he was what I wanted to promote for Dark Mirror at the time. But now I have a new character that I'm going to promote, and yes, although he's different, and I kind of fooled you guys for a minute, this is technically Kaio. I do plan on getting this comic fully done, but it's going to be a comic that is infused with both my old style and my new style, and I'm hoping that it comes out pretty good, because when I tried, I'm scared to do it with my main comic, because I think it'll look cheesy. But I think with this new one with Zone Mirror, it should be perfectly fine. And it won't be too bad. So, this character, I'm going to talk a little bit about him without giving away too much, and I might go into depth about my art style. But without giving away too much, this character is a leader of a parasite species, and a parasite is a cousin or sister species to Deal Demon. I'm currently unsure if I want to make this species somewhat open like Ground Lion does, but if I do make it open, it'll be when I worked out all the kinks and stipulations that make this species okay, because I don't want to release this species and have it not make sense, because they do have certain rules, and I don't want to go out on a limb and say to create a character based off of it and then have confusion, because that would be my fault. And I take full responsibility for anything that is misinterpreted for either species. I have listed and detailed certain things on my toy house about the parasite species. And I have yet to do that with the deal demons. But they're gonna get one eventually. And since I'm working on a parasite species anyway, I'll just talk about that. The parasite species that I have planned for this comic is very specific because I plan on having them be a male-only species. That way they have a stipulation and rule to try to get females from the comic as mates because they are unable to breed without a female companion. So, since they're a male-only breed, it's kind of hard for them to reproduce without a female outside of their own species. There is never a 100% female parasite species. And that is important for this story. I'm trying really hard not to give it away. But I'm probably not doing so well. So, with that being said, I planned on these species having different sizes, different shapes, and I want to try to play around and actually make more of these species. Because it seems pretty fun to work with. They're also a really extremely fluffy species. And I just like anything with fluff involved in it. So it works perfectly. But I'm hoping that somewhere during this year I can get the comic that I promised would be done by Halloween, which it isn't because it went on hiatus, just like the Origins did. I'm hoping that it'll be done sometime early this year or something because I'm almost done with it. I'm just finishing it up and making it look decent because I don't want to release a half did drawing of anything and make the drawings harder, because I do go back and forth a lot and try to make sure that everything is perfect. I love my mom because I usually use her to try to make sure that what I'm saying in the comic makes sense and get critiques from her to understand it. I've learned that if I want like decent critique, to go to family, because if they can understand it, anyone can understand it. And I do a lot of back and forthing like that. And with this comic, I was a stubborn dumb nut, and I decided I'm not gonna write anything down for it, and that's why Your Mine has been taken forever, because I didn't write down the comic, and it's just strictly from memory. Because I wanted to challenge myself. Which I shouldn't. I know how the comic is going to end, and it's also going to have a sequel. Even though I really shouldn't be saying that, but whatever. But after Your Mine is done, since I already released... Well, I've already released the cover for it, so it's not that bad. There's going to be a sequel to Your Mine. And the ending, I am going to guarantee you, most of you will either A, not get it, or B, you won't be happy with it. Because I plan to leave it on a cliffhanger. And originally, my original thought was to leave it up to your interpretation what happens. But then I decided I wanted to make a sequel. And then if anyone looks on Toy House, more specifically at my evil boy, you will see a very major change in his bio because there is a second bit added to it just for that secondary comic. And I'm excited nonetheless to work on it. I've already drawn some mini little teaser things for myself, but I decided not to use them for the best part, and I want to include that little teaser thing that I was gonna pop out as a teaser as something for the comic. But I'm still deciding on if I want to use my new style or my old style, or a combination of the two, which is where this character comes into play, because I really want to see how both styles can go together and if they can clash, because what I'm going for is sort of a One Punch Man vibe, where it can get really serious, but then it's also kind of cartoony, which is something I really do admire that series for. It gets really cartoony and really serious, and that's what I really want to stick with. I also want to try to do some little rambly things, maybe some story times. I just want to dip my toes in the water of something that's a bit different, since I am more comfortable talking on my channel now and becoming more open. And I would love to do this all day long, just talk and tell you guys stories and everything. And I reveal all my plans, but I don't think that I should. But for right now, that's all I have to say, and I hope you enjoy the speed paint, and hopefully you enjoy my new style and content, and if you don't, let me know. But ultimately, this is the choice I have decided to make for 2020, and also the choice of being somewhat obsessed with silver. But yeah, goodbye!